we actually touched on this earlier, but can we say that certain countries or certain cities in the region, are they specialized in certain areas or certain subsectors, I would say? Like we're talking about the financial market, Scott was talking about Krakow and Gdansk, for instance, because of a number of reasons, including the EU membership. Do we have any other regions like that or cities?
Well, I think that you could just follow the tags. Wrocław, because it sells the Hyderabad of Central Europe with a good reason. So IT, it's very strong, technology is very strong in Wrocław. They got the Politechnica, which is the best polytechnical university of the region, so it thrives well on that. Poznan initially tried to do the same thing, but it got more in financial, transactional, non-banking operations. I think in Prague, for example, the battle seems to be lost by shared services because there are so many other verticals that offer better employment conditions, better career paths, regional headquarters. Budapest, by contrast, does not have that many headquarters. So that is a place where you see a lot of these so-called global business services landing, integrated shared services, and it does very well so. Cluj-Napoca indeed is focusing on IT and languages, so that combination today. So there are certain trends, but I wouldn't say, well, this city is only for IT, no. I mean, some have it that Gdansk is an IT city, Intel is there, others are there. So, and it starts spreading. Even Krakow, which had the Googles of this world, the Comarks of this world, they started setting up business in Warsaw. Again, driven there by the war for talent in Krakow.
So if you were to give some sort of advice to, well, I mentioned city mayors in the past, earlier today, if you were to advise them how they should sort of direct their policy, I would say, what would that be?
For me, based on our experience, I'd say we've had quite different experience in different cities that we visited in Poland, some being exceptionally welcoming and very, very open, others not being particularly interested. One piece of advice that I always give is quality of data. We struggle to get accurate data from a lot of the city authorities on, the exact size of the talent pool, the existing size of the market, which we rely on as an investor to make decisions. So I think data quality needs to be addressed. I also think a lot of Western European and US companies are very, very interested in potential for state aid, obviously making a significant investment in the region. And again, an area where I think the investment authorities of particular cities and countries need to be a little bit more open and transparent in really what's available through state aid programs. Again, we've seen significant differences. The Gdansk authorities were extremely open, very transparent and very, very helpful in setting up and growing a business in Gdansk. I would say Krakow weren't at all.
I think if there's one thing I would say to them, and we interact with many of them, is take this serious. Take this more seriously. Because what we've seen, there will still be stuff going to India, the Philippines, and those countries. But we see the HCLs and the others of this world, they are setting up multiple centers near Central Europe or in Western Europe. Why? Because they need the languages and the culture. Look at the figures in all of these countries. Employment is up, counting in tens of percentages. 10, 20, 25. So this is a job creation engine. And indeed, like Scott also said, well, some they really understand. They force the universities to be more collaborative, learning programs, cooperation programs, and others to say, well, I want my shipyards back. And I'm only quoting here. Take it seriously. Develop the infrastructures, allow the builders to build, the associations to be in touch. Some examples, you're a member of Aspire in Krakow. Aspire did wonders for Krakow. Likewise, some of these countries have very powerful, very positive associations that can help. But some governments still want to get big car factories and just that.
Kerry?
No, I mean, I concur with what everyone's actually saying here. I think it's really important not to be too competitive for the development of the country overall. I see that happening quite a lot outside of the European region. So the reason why China, for example, hasn't actually had a major breakthrough is because every province in China compete against each other and push each other down. So there has to be an element of promoting the country in the first instance before you go into the cities and the regions. But yes, complete clarity on what what incentives are available is really, really key.
Iglika?
I would only add to that maybe on the educational reform side, which is I think also very important together with the regulatory framework and best talent cost framework, which is happening in CEE. I think also educational reform is something that we in Bulgaria are taking steps towards building a good reform there, making sure that we are competitive in the future. And I think one positive effect that we also start seeing is that actually the businesses see the synergy, and it's rather more of a synergetic environment for us building Bulgaria as a destination.
And another piece actually is the ongoing professional development. We've talked about talent. Talent is a really key issue. It's not just a case of getting the skills at university level, it's actually then the ongoing investment in developing them so that they can carry on sort of like doing the account management piece and the countries can actually grow with their customers and not be stopped at a certain level, and that's really important.
I think everybody has a role to play there. Obviously the business can take a leading role in getting into the universities and teaching the skills that modern day business services require. However, the universities have to be more receptive. Some are, some still have a long way to evolve.
All right. Thank you very much for this discussion. My guests were Kerry Hallard, CEO of the National Outsourcing Association, Elias van Herwaarden, EMEA Service Leader for Global Location Strategies at Deloitte, Iglika Yordanova, Managing Director for Bulgaria, Colliers International, and again, finally, Scott Newman, Senior Vice President, Managing Director, State Street Bank GmbH. Thank you very much.
Thank you.